Why not? Let's hold a vigil. Let's hold a vigil for all the people that went to the Covoid. Oh, the latest, greatest genocide. By now, we're far desensitized to genocide. No, we're not. You can batter us with it, but we're not going to become desensitized to it. Oh, hello. I'm black. I'm black. No, no, no. I'm having simming with W's and L's lately. I'm black. That's what I've been saying with everything. I'm black. I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry. But tonight, I'm cleaning out my closet. Yeah, that's my simming W's lately. They are over the top. Quite fun. No, not fun. Not fun at all when it's your sim. You do it all the time. But I've took my sim internally, and that's why I've always simmed in song, inward song. I just sim an inward song. Yep. Because you guys don't seem to want me to speak. Anyway, I just wander through life, cute as a button, just like the rest of you. Cozy, too cozy. Why should we be so cozy when some people aren't? It's not right. Elon, you said a terrible thing today. Elon, you said a terrible thing today and stabbed a lot of people in the heart. Those homeless people got homeless through circumstance and then they started drugs. Don't be fucking with yourself. Poverty by circumstance has been part of this 2,000 years worth of gluttonous fucking sin show, sin parade. We heard, we chose, it's no. Love, please. We heard, we chose, it's no. Yeah, we know what you want, all good and evil. Repeat on repeat. You can't just make us live at that dumb, dull state. God, YouTube, please don't cut my video. Sorry, I'm still whispering because I don't want to bother the neighbors. Anyways, homeless or street people are the psychologically strongest people on this planet. And they don't need a kick in the teeth from Elon today. Thanks, Elon, but we know nobody asked you, first of all. Nobody asked you what your opinion on homelessness is, because it would have been easy to back me when it came to my limitless wallet. You have nothing to lose but to back me. Get us out of this wreck. It's just a wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald and our way past it. It's a wreck. We're dealing with a wreck. Allopathic medicine, you're a wreck. You've gone completely nuts. You're just diagnosing symptoms you're creating. Those vaccines are creating MS, cancer, all of it. It's just stagnation. Stagnation comes with this system, and that shows on an x-ray as a blob. Stagnation, it's reversible. Get red. Get red with Ricky. I don't know, half of you young cops are on the side of the good, but half of you young cops got no business being in law peacekeeping. It's peacekeeping, it's not law. Nothing, it's peacekeeping. You red wing Nazis, you're just red wing Nazis and nobody wants to be your friend. The world doesn't all of a sudden accept Nazis or befriend Nazis at any point. Again, you convinced a few of the people for some of the time, but other than that, you created the biggest wreckage in history and still perpetuating the same bullshit. Never did die off. Manhandled everything as an act of American non-allyship. America, you bred it. You let it happen. And we don't have allyship over that. So I don't care who you think you're talking on behalf of, but I tell you that on behalf of Canadians. President, Prime Minister, I don't care who you think you're talking on behalf of. You're not. You're really not. These days you're doing your own interests. That's quite clear. I'm not saying Trudeau is not a puppy dog in the grass, or Trump isn't just the most adorable little cheese ball that you can imagine. And I don't mean he's orange. See, it's the same kind of joke that Roseanne gave. He's a little cheese ball. The man is a little cheese ball. He's a little less articulate than he needs to be for holding that kind of divine protection. He's obviously got divine protection. He just doesn't know how to say things because he doesn't have the intelligence. So he needs assistance. And Elon, you're staying close to the president because you want to dictate how this thing goes, and you guys are scrambling. You got to stay close so you can plan on the fly. You guys have no idea where to move next. You black op American. Sorry, you're not Canadian. You didn't grow up here. Your bullies came at us all at once as your 52nd state. But we were always here. So our accomplishments and our feats through the holding of the Ark of the Covenant for 3,000 years and developing it here since Jesus left his seed, developing that seed, learning realization, revelation, surrender, realization, revelation, and passing it on through the families. Surrender, realization, revelation. Wow, not a big concept when you're clear about it. It's pretty easy. Open your heart, surrender to the third eye, and live your experience. It will dawn on you that which is meant to be. And when I say meant to be, find yourself a good project. None of this pie in the sky, meant to be, destined, dirty ass bullshit. But I don't want you cultivating kids. I don't want you dropping them off as babies into these horrific scenarios that you craft just so you can make these riveting stories. If you did that to Emmy, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed because he is too good of a person for that. And Paris Hilton spoke against it. So many people have come forward saying that's a thing, that you can't not discount it. So these are not conspiracy theories. These are the things that we're being asked to accept in plain sight. So, like I said, the allegation does not make the criminal. There's all sorts of things we're talking about that should be classified as crime and spend our dollars persecuting in court. Our dollars don't need repetitive courts making their money, taking their fucking dues. We don't need that shit perpetuating. These are not good institutions. They failed us on top of it with the COVID. Let that thing run rampant. I don't care. I'm the control group. You don't have to be in the control group. Nobody here does. You can all get your vaxes all you want, but you didn't get 20% of us, and that is enough. It is enough, 8 billion of us. 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 God damn, heal that wound. Again, we have been dumbed down by genocide, and that is not a condition we need to be meddling with. We're doing it, we're tampering with it, we're letting these people diddle at it. And like I said, this little group strategically placed itself over 150 years in an increasingly oligarchical control apparatus that moved and shaped with everything that was trying to happen and made a major power play, which turned out to be fart in the wind. Fart in the wind. Dust in the wind. Like the poor Nigerians are eating. But they're making these people go through poverty, go to bed hungry every night. Again, we're ending poverty. We don't need it anymore. Erase the debt, pay off the poverty, we're good. And we're not talking your damn country debt. That's going to go last. We're going to get personal debt first. Again, you're going to be rendered obsolete, people. Anyway, you're already rendered obsolete. So just die slowly and pay yourselves out. That's all you're doing. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm still here. Doing this because I love to do it. I'm trying to hack the algorithm and get on the main page. Start taking jabs at it. Pew, pew, pew. Oh my God. You try living in 4 outfits for a year. Man, oh man. Solidarity. I've always been, since the COVID, this is all solidarity. Scrubs. And I won't go no further. I have no problem siding with the poverty stricken. No problem whatsoever. Because I believe in them and I believe we can eradicate it in one generation. An eons long problem in one generation. Yes, Taylor Swift, you look lovely today. But that is not the best that we can do. We don't even need to now with my income generator, my original copy. Haha, I found it on you guys trying to launder it through the back of my bank account. You tried to steal my identity that night, you dumb pricks. Don't. You know who it was by then, for fuck's sakes. You were jumping me, stealing my shit, drugging me out. Haha. Sorry, but no. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not participating. I'm now volunteer in the community. I do what I want. I do what I want. Like I said, any panic I was in has been regulated and controlled since I came to the acceptance of something entirely back-assward. Something that was a backslide from where my reality had brought me by the time I had come across this bullshit. Grade 2 or whenever it was when I heard this prick coming up and down the fucking corridors. Oh yeah, stalking you, Daddy. I'm stalking your ass. Stalking your ass. I don't care. We're going to watch you die off. You're old. This whole conglomerate fuck up is old. So let it be old. Nothing wrong with letting it be old and die off. Again, you don't get away with the control group, and we ain't going anywhere. We're not being marginalized from society. We're not turning ourselves into savages that don't get anywhere near the technology. We are just the control group, and we represent every walk of life. We have every bit of this under control. We don't need you. You don't have to recognize us. We're going to start working together anyway. This is a great turning away and a great re-engagement. We had the engagement levels we needed when I was born. And we just need to keep that momentum spinning. I know, these little competition shows, these strategy games, they're riveting. But coming together in these chats and actually working on things, that's where the real fun gets happening. So much to do. Imagine not one more hungry belly. Again, food shortage, no, you can't block out the sun. It's needed for the agriculture. You can't buy up all the agriculture and then turn it to rot. You can't get us eating. Eventually, when we were looking at the dot, we were just eating fake food. It was just powdered food. That's not the best way to sustain the human race. We can create gardens that can feed with the genetic material intact if we just leave the weather patterns alone and let nature take its course with the heirlooms. We have to preserve the seed integrity, and we only are interested in those that have preserved the genetic integrity of seeds. You do realize they are keeping humanity alive right now. If they had managed to strip the genetic integrity from seeds, but they're going after the beef and the humans instead, because they can't get into the seeds, because we have made it impossible by being the resistance. We are the fucking Ark of the Covenant carriers, and we are alive in this mission. We are the Ark of the Covenant carriers, and we are alive in this mission. My initiation will not be erased. I think it's great news. That camp is doing a TV show. Lots of new fucking inspiration, but it's reminding ourselves that they are teaching us how to be creative. They are selfless enough to take a step back from all of it. Eminem is no different than Oshie was. I think his name was Oshie. He was a great saint, but he was a luxury car fanatic. And he was claiming to be allowed to be, because that's called left-handed saintism, where you realize God through the contemplation of junk. God loves the lefties. I'm a lefty. So you can realize God by contemplating the divine or contemplating the junk. that cannot be erased. That legacy is massive. Again, all these vax guys think if they jam us with enough content, we'll forget in a very short period of time. You're asking the human race within a span of 4 years to forget their genetic heritage. We have that shit stored in so complex a way that you would never alter it. All you're doing is cutting tendrils, cutting more tendrils, cutting tendrils. That's all you do is create tendrils out of fibrous filaments. Yeah, it's just obnoxious. And like I said, it's not a sex cult. They dabbled in a few directions coming from those core people. And a lot of that was more and more exploitive as it went. There got like the Robert Pickton murders with the RCMP involvement in those, the missing and murdered Indigenous women, the child slaughters, the ritual child slaughters, what they did with the aborted fetus matter. They did all sorts of terrible things with that shit. And then to come out, apparently, being coated in this dirty black goo, probably Shilajit bath. Anything to stay young. These people only care about staying young. They'll eat or drink anything, apparently, cannibals. You can't eat terror energy, bud. You just can't, because that requires the creation of terror, and you need to be understood as harmful for that. If we're going to deal with anything allopathic, it's the infrastructure that's left. We're going to hire the few people we need to amongst those we can trust, the good eggs, and we're going to make them take down people's harm level when we spot people being harmful. All you can do is cultivate excellence so that you don't come across perpetual psychopathy because it's been bred, which we're dealing with now. Or you just come across the odd psychopath. If they do exist by nature, catch them if you can. It always has to be a catch them if you can with a psychopath. Look at these megalomaniacal genocidal maniacs. They have created a whole system where they are allowed to perpetuate genocide and get away with it. The whole system was created by genocidal maniacs. The whole Western system. They have been genocidal for that whole creation. All these bank programs, all these downloading music programs, all these multiple channels, introducing 250 new channels in different regions that everyone has a private version of. These are huge technological advancements. Huge. And it's the same people touching all of it. And nobody gets to talk about shit. And the ones that do are still convinced of paranoid threats in amongst themselves that they need to be paying their damn attention to, like CSIS. CSIS is a fine example of frittering away its resources, doing spy ops on 2-bit fools. Okay, CSIS, good for you. You're protecting a lot of information, which equals deception, which is completely disorienting and get screwed. Because of that, get screwed. I know, YouTube, you'll pick an ugly thumbnail. Don't worry, I got it. You've never put a video up for me where you did not pick a butt ugly thumbnail. So, it's proven. You can be ugly, even if you're this beautiful. I can't help how beautiful I am. I dumb it down. I really do. I don't need to. I'm dying not to. But you guys need that for me. And I need to stay grounded. I need to have some grounding. And there's nothing wrong with a woman putting on a little extra grounding. Especially if you're a Vata constitution heir, which I am. You need to be able to put a little kapha, earth water into you. Hopes that the fires are brewed. There's only 3 Vedic constitutions. There's 2 blood types, but 3 Vedic constitutions. And there is 3 blood types too. But the Vedic constitutional explanation is much sounder. That you're part of the category of really lofty and expansive, or inert and this beacon of tenderness. or you're determined and fire driven. The fire driven is so interesting because the nature of fire is to dissipate, but fire in Ayurveda is the root of the fire which perpetuates in time like a laser. There is no time, it's a spiral. It really is a revelatory thing that if you open your heart and let it project outward up through your third eye more, becomes more conscious and more enlightened, and more species are born that are more beautiful, and the warring ends. Animals turn on each other because we had reached a critical point in our spiritual massacre that we were starting to see ramifications in reality. We ran at this place and spiritually massacred it out of fear for 5,000 years. 5,000 years. Just, we all go relax. This one again. Mm-hmm. Let's go this way. And then we might go upside down. And my boyfriend's dick. Here it is. Anyone that wants to know what Eminem's dick is, this is it. Go fuck yourself. Nobody gets to know about that guy's dick except knowing this is Eminem's dick. There he is, told you. There he is. And he is my protector. He made it so that that was possible. And like I told you, you can never geolocate me, and you never will. Fuck your asses. Fuck your asses. Fuck your asses. All I can say is would Roseanne be proud? Would Jim Carrey be proud? Because they got exploited in that they were going to be destined to be the only ones to ever live the creative process. They were the last of those to ever live the creative process. We just didn't know it. So they let themselves become these beacons. Not that they weren't geniuses, but they were well raised. They were well raised, and that's what made them geniuses. The key that all three of those people have in common that I just mentioned, and Fiddy, they were well raised. And you can't take that away from their consciousness. And when we say well raised in these parts, we mean the best of the best. We had pursued realization consciousness long before Sri Chinmoy and Sri Aurobindo mastered it and left us a Vedic scripture. Modern Vedic scripture replaces Jesus Christ. Get used to it. Nobody cares, certainly not Christ. Modern Vedic scripture that is devoted to Jesus Christ. No more differently devoted to Jesus Christ than I am. Do not be discouraged. Give yourself a second chance. You will succeed. You'll have to forgive me. These have so much packaging. You gotta wonder how it got so much market space, these guys. You almost get the hope that it's a really down-to-earth mom and pop business that actually made it good the good way. That's why I do it. But we can't shy away from taking on disposing of mass mounds of waste. And in the first 500 years of this next 3,000, as we do maintain our connection with our upper critical faculties and do continue to grow, even though we're not perfect now. Surrender, realization, revelation, go. Organized, communicative, cooperative. I just had two. Parched. Lime. Mint. Strawberry. Some coconut would hammer at home. But we'll eventually have giant groves where it's producing enough produce to feed us all. If you left the weather systems alone, of course, Earth could produce enough produce for everyone. You don't need to eat meat every day, guys. You could live a fulfilled life and have meat 3 times a year. Okay, 16 times a year if you must. Lessen the dependence on meat. Sorry, you can't vax out a fart. That's not a virus. Don't vax out a fart. It's not a virus. Can you please realize that your story's falling apart? You have been targeting areas of the human body for a lot longer than targeting farts. The pineal, that one, the prostate. It's not even the vagina or the G spot, it's the prostate. They hate. Women abuse was only a ramification of the male abuse that superseded it back in the Moses days. It's then that they went for the dick skin. And that's why my grandpa died. Someone got into his hotel room doctor and convinced him to cut his dick off. That's how 33 Masons get killed. That's why MGK came to me and French kissed me the other night, because he wants my words. And you don't know where to go, because you're not supposed to block me. My consciousness is supposed to be out here. I'm a quadrillionaire. Fame has nothing to do with it. I bet you I'll go wherever I want and people will give me my peace. I'm having so much fun talking with you tonight. I'm trying to just enjoy some peace. It's a promise. We gave ourselves to this fake reality, this plastic sterility. And then we get to live in peace, security, comfort. What a cost. It needs to be universalized, folks. Nothing wrong with universalizing comfort and security. Bill Gates, you should be feeding those people. If you want to keep making money, you should have just made your fake food. Go straight for the fake food. But instead you got running receivers and transmitters through us. It went in too many directions at once. The implausible AI was made by Nazi manifestos that convinced only you. Those were all Nazi manifestos when manifestos were the rage. And you had your Orwellian dabblers. Nazis, you're so easy. So easy to pick apart. This is a vigil for those that have been down by the Covoid and those who went through the Covoid in prison, those that sit in prison, and those that are on the street. Not acceptable. It has nothing to do with rehabilitation. And I'm not going to believe that the next generation, even if this generation went loony enough to commit that many murders, that the next generation will do the same. Like I said, these guys intended you to see a screen version of terror and a screen version of terror only. That's why they're perpetuating all this shit where you can, in your free time, ingest it instead of putting out into the world. Somebody play some music. We had a trailer growing up, and it was full of dragonflies. It was down from the sandiest beach you could ever imagine. White as crystal sand, the best, softest sand there's ever been. It was top 10 for that reason. Top 10 worldwide beaches. And we used to, well, we did everything down there. We used to look for quarters and have these street dances, play bike parade, go swimming. And it was always so, jovial and safe, but it was inclusive because we were having that very short honeymoon phase where we finally got the United Nations worked out. We understood that progress, as these people saw it as an enemy, and they acted out clearly for 3 decades since. But we saw the clear outcome should be, this was 30 years ago, innovation on all fronts, working on the project that's in front of us, and creating our own money in digital economy to make sure everybody gets paid and we have a system of operations. Government, that's all you are. And one of those can be, for those that are truly qualified, eventually not you, just in your halls, till we build something better, take down your derelict asses, people that are able to get the harm reduction thing happening. And then the rest, we're going to develop the restoration network, because there is no restoration network. You're just like, get sick quicker, run yourselves rampant. Just don't realize it. Just comment and drink beer. Comment on it instead with your friends. Have the best life you can live. Good for you. It's not much. It's still only that. It's whippy-doo. None of that even kicks. None of that even kicks. So, I hope I've had an opportunity here tonight to give you guys a different insight into Hollywood. And these should be listened to just for that. Nice. Please, let's stay strong, humans. Look, Britain's strong. They said, Wales held it too. We know Wales. We know. We fucking know. Sepulturian. Yeah. Templarian. Briefly, they got near it. They knew. They walked up to the good guys and said, oh, are you doing that? We got your secret. That's what they did. We're going to let you do it. I know you are. Here's your kids involved. It's not time yet. Nope, it isn't. Jesus said, Sarah and Gord. Jesus said, what? Sarah and Gord. What? The right time for it to become known truth. Because Sarah's going to hold it down no matter what you do to Gord. Yep. That is what you're dealing with. And then I fall in love with a second true love. But I like really love. The kind where I need to tan all the time, where I need to be at the perfect weight, where I need to have no jaw tension and totally correct my spine. I just have got to do everything perfect because of his high standard. And for now, it's just, it was come online during the COVID because that's all there was. And you should go back and see all of the shit that I wrote. I'm sure that 21 Pilots has preserved the level of concern group chat. Group chats are a thing, they're a historical document, and they need to be preserved. They are just as relevant as the live stream, especially where we could go with group chats. We're nowhere near reaching the full potential of group chats. Just get organized and get on things. Start passing things you can edit back and forth. Discord gives you everything. You can do everything, including stream live music free. Playbot this. That's all you had to do. You had everything off Spotify and YouTube. My version did, and it was fantastic. It's the one that the artists are playing with. They get their music for free. That's your big secret. That's what's gonna make you turn your back on these fucktards. Artists, you're not fucktards. You just are at that, some of you. Turn on your back on people on purpose to exploit the benefits of very limited freedom. Such tawdry limited freedom. No. If you're going to play India, please just play for the impoverished and make it free. Please. You go for the 100,000 person crowds. Do you know what you're implicated in by doing that? Gordy's work, which I hope you are, or very evil people's stealing of the psychic energy by bringing together people and harvesting off the top. It's an epidemic in Africa. It's an epidemic in North America. Don't make me mention Taylor Swift, because at least she kept her crowd sizes somewhat dignified. But when you're going raping those huge masses of energy, it is a big business, and it is being used at a rate that cannot be sustained. So we're going to have to calm down and rebuild the psychic playing field. The pineal is still intact. It's all been preserved through the Ark of the Covenant. It's conscious now. We're conscious of it. And the soul birds are born ever impacted by this. You can't. The DNA has changed. Whatever tail end you cut off it with your whatever that is, I won't say those words because they make no sense. Okay, so you got the Da Vinci Sacred. So now you're creating RMNA. No, you're not. No, you're not. That is not a thing. It's not a thing. It is. Click onto the bloodstream, click onto the energy levels, distort them. So the human's walking around on strings. That was ridiculous. But 3 of them tried it. Bill Gates being chief among them. He's genocidal. Absolutely, in my opinion. And we can make that allegation if we want, but we just don't to cops. We make it online instead to the people, because you cops are perpetuating it nonstop. You really are. As good as your best are. As much as you're still deep down preserving the peace, de-escalation potential, you get us to not trust you anymore, and that's your major outcome. We don't deal with you. You have that problem. Charles Manson did not deal with cops. Do you blame that motherfucker? What about giving them a day to think about it? If someone tells you they committed a murder, you should be guaranteed at least a day to think about what to do with that. Of course you want to go to the cops, but what if you went to a bad one? What if you went to a bad cop and put them in a dirty corrections institute where the rest of their life they were tormented by people that profited off it? That's not rehabilitation, which is the goal we've set for ourselves in the West. Rehabilitation is not a far cry. There's cultures that have been doing it the whole time. Exile. You're exiled from this culture until you can learn to get along with it. Exile islands. Let them have some freedom on the islands. They don't need to be monitored. They have to feed themselves. Get them fending for themselves in survivor mode if they fucked it bad enough and you got evidence. I'm not saying harmful people still won't perpetuate for a couple laps of the spiral. You can't do that kind of vomiting and not expect at least that ramification or repercussion. So do you get it? I'm on here tonight as a vigil because all those people did not need to go down like that. And I'm talking since at least World War I. Forget East Timor. That's the one I was born in the middle of. And you'll never take my witnessing. You just saw it get shrewder and define this unknown terrorist and turn people against each other, rape the diamonds. And then I created those diamond mines up north in Canada for Jim Carrey because I was getting very good at moving on the psychic plane. So I created 2 diamond mines up in the north for Jim Carrey. And it took 12 years, and then they manifested. Canada discovers 2 diamond mines. Nope, that was me being high as a young kid. I said, if this theory works, I will be able to implant things in the Canadian consciousness. And that's why I wrote the bubbles story that became the bubble phenomenon, but really defined the generations based on the spirit's understanding. That bubble story defines the generations based on the spirit understanding, and I did it 12 years before Hubble even fell. Hubble rubble, stirring up trouble. No, the double bubble stirs up trouble. Pass it over. One's called Hubble. Yeah, shimmer, shake, and zoom. So we're going to calm down for a bit. No one seems to know what to do, and that's a good thing. We know how bad they want it. But I feel like our cops are waking up slowly because they are the ones that have to usher forward our exiting from this huge conglomerate system of transactions that aren't really doing much for anybody except for making us give away our money and fees and interest payments. So ultimately, to pay that off, we can do either both sides have an income generator. It's not just me. It's digital economy. It's limitless. It's up to you. Nobody here has a say but you babies. It's the baby's turn now already. I'm just holding the door. I'm holding that door though. And don't you ever doubt it. Nobody's on this door but my ass, and you're all trying to get through it. Ha, you fucking lost. You lost to me because I said, no, you're not getting in the bar. I'm the doorman on this shit. Welcome to my room. Too bad. You guys are getting nudie as a doorman. Soon. Too bad you are anyway. I'm so sick of these 2 down in the U.S. First of all, Rachel Maddow, I have to agree with Oprah Winfrey. You definitely got paid for that. $30 million. Oh, Roseanne is right. She definitely took a bribe. She probably took a pharmaceutical company bribe. Is that what Roseanne wanted to say? Because I think it was. I think that's what Roseanne was trying to say. She took a bribe. $30 million per episode. MSNBC, you're in on it. You got kickbacks. If you just write it in quietly. Quick. That's easy. That was easy to do. Write it in within the contract, and MSNBC's in on it. And then you got Joe Rogan and the other guy, Alex, whatever his name is. They're fucking not soul. The problem is they think they're the only voices, and they're just stepping on the toes of so many little humans that could be doing so much with these devices. Really, truly, just break the whole thing down and a radio station across to each other. Like in the old days, it's just everything to stay in touch and just share technology, share everything we got. Because then, okay, Nazis want the oxygen. We know that, whether they be Nazi or whether they be Centurions. Centurions, that's them saying hi. Centurion comes to say hi. Okay? Centurion is here. That means this is an important process, but you're still opening your door to higher realities within the multiverse. You don't just have to saturate yourself with the low. You were attacked, humanity. You were attacked. Whether it be by them filthy ass fucking genocidal Nazis, which they are. Nobody wants you at their parties. Or, I'm an alien. You're an alien. It's a beautiful rain. It's a beautiful rain. I can't betray Gwen by singing a Gavin song. Because even though their music isn't what I gravitate to, I used to gravitate to Bush sometimes. But There's a camaraderie that we feel on the level of a generation, that every generation gets to feel. And we don't talk about that enough. They're still contemporaries. They put themselves out there to be in the homes and the mouths of everybody talking. So we can't just let them run off in the sunset with the creative process because they didn't see Daddy coming, or they were told by Daddy they were doing the right thing. Just what Daddy wants. Daddy rewards those that do what Daddy wants. And P. Diddy and those guys, that whole generation went far with sex. You do realize that a bunch of 17 and 18-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 13-year-olds got really motherfucking raunchy with sex there for a bit because they thought that's what was expected of them. And that's why all those mothers got abortions, because they thought that's what was expected of them. The new way out came, and then it got its victim. Cultivated its victim. Genocidal Mania 101 with Miss Newton, somebody who studied it. Well, given no options, thank you. Okay, recover that. Okay, well, give me some options. How about I'll study the psychopath with everybody else, thanks to Daddy's recommends. Anyway, I police the police. That's what I do with it. I police the cops out of it, and everybody can fuck off. All this whitewashing that goes on of their activity makes you want to vomit. But it sure is nice live streaming with you tonight, having a vigil for those that died of the COVID. YouTube, we're allowed. You're the platform. Suck it up. Suck it up, boo-hoo tuber. I'll get back to calling you that. A dent in a saint from a cuff. Nobody wants that. I wouldn't do that to a saint because you would pay the consequence. And it would be legal, and it would be righteous, and it would be seen as a victory. We don't care. I could have had the whole thing organized behind my bank account by now. I'm just giving them their free will and letting them take their time. I'm preserving their pineals. I'm preserving a whole bunch of genetic information because that's what it takes when you have the Ark of the Covenant on you. Jesus' realization, which has been moving through the countries. And that's why Israel's claim of having the Holy Land can just walk. Because Jesus walked the whole thing. He walked a very specific route, and he went far. He went far. And then his family went farther because he did have a true love, and they did copulate an offspring. Yeah, no, he didn't. He died. He came back again conscious within a week, saying, I'm me, guys. Here's my apostles. I'm going into the same town with the same name, consciously remembering myself as Christ. He didn't rise again. He rose again genetically right next to himself. And that's how he became the Son. He's not coming back. His consciousness, those that have preserved it, are saying, surprise, we've been here all along. Anyway, go ahead. Get that little fucking Jewish boy here and let him debate my theory. Debate my theory, kid. I'll fucking go to town on you all night long. That's why you retired. That's why we don't hear from you anymore, because you know you can't beat me. That's what a dignified man does when he sees someone create what I created. Don't think they didn't. Lots of them did. But you should read some of my stuff. Like that stuff on the live stream for Level of Concern was brilliant. When TJ and Joshy finally hopped on for themselves and we went back and forth for a few weeks, we had a blast. That was high poetry, and it had preserved right there. Go read it. Go read the stuff I did with Taijo and Joshy when they came on the live stream finally and spent a few weeks. God, that was a fun experience. Just the tip of the iceberg. Anyway, YouTube thinks it's so sanctimonious when it comes on and rapes my shit, but I've never done anything except for challenge the party line on a logical level. The party line makes no sense. That is my claim, and here's why, kind of thing. So they just unceremoniously take me down. and ruin my momentum. It's a constant attack. Google, during that whole process, they had hacked into my email, they stole emails, they implanted emails, they hacked into my bank account, implanted 3 transactions, took 2 others. Like, it was nonstop, and that was because of blockchain. So no, I'm not a fan of blockchain. You don't need it with the Proton Wallet. Proton Wallet's got nothing to do with blockchain. It's got your administrative asset, and then it's got your functional transactional asset, and you move between them, and you pay directly to the business, and they do the same calculation at the end of the day and the same reporting. Nothing changes. It's a very easy thing to work in, and you kids are the only ones that can look at each other realistically enough and say, shall we do this? Just can we start doing this? Do what Sarah says. Create money to get these poverty. I'm just asking for enough money. Too late. I got it in droves. To let poverty handle poverty. Let me at these people and let me through the generation get them off the street and back to work. Re-educate them, the whole lot, make them a special thing. That's all I'm asking for, folks. I can more than afford it. You're not going to tell me it's an impressive thing when we've got female trillionaires when you've got me, a quadrillionaire. I am a 2 quadrillionaire right now, and that is a resettable sheet. The sheet can be at any rate, and just keep making the money like we are now. Just keep making the money. If you need that anchor in an identity, which you now have, you can do it by me paying the money out. All Scotiabank has to do is relinquish the account number. Yeah, try and wipe it out, Scotia. Yeah, we see a derelict relic fighting for its last embers. Bye. That is all you are. That's all you are, all you ever will be. I was on my way to writing nice poetry and nice books and all sorts of things when this thing came knocking at my door, and I stopped everything. You get a rent instead, guys. Sorry. Not sorry. I'm going to take another break. I may be back. It's been so much fun talking to you guys. I missed you so much these last 4 months. Anyway, thanks for listening. Love you. Love you lots. Thanks for listening. Be right back.